Thanks for watching the Daily Debate Live Wednesdays with Taghreed Hussein here on Nile TV International. I'm really glad that we will be starting off our episode live tonight by good news, and always good news for our dear beloved country, Egypt. Egypt beat Ivory Coast in a penalty shootout to advance to the quarter-final round of the Africa Cup of Nations. Congratulations, Egypt. And always like this sort of news, positive energy, driving positive energy to start with the episode. And from this triumph for Egypt in the field of sports to another triumph, but in the field of foreign policy, Egypt's different considerable dimensions, the geopolitical, strategic, and even cultural and religious importance of the country has already made it play a pivotal role in its foreign policy at all levels, at the Arab level, at the African, the Asian, the Middle Eastern, the Islamic level, and all even global. Of course, this role has been changing over the time due to the surrounding circumstances, but Egypt manages always to play a very important and a major role in the region. The new republic is a key foreign player in the region and worldwide. We all witnessed how in 1 week Egypt's political leader met with the heads of Korea, Algeria, the United Arab Emirates, proving definitely that Egypt's foreign policy is capable of influencing numerous regional developments and definitely successfully establishing close and long-standing relations with Africa, with Asia, and also worldwide. So this foreign policy really markets Egypt and brands Egypt globally to the world. Today, while we are reading in the successes Egypt is achieving in the field of foreign policy in general and shedding light also on today's important visit, the presidential visit to the United Arab Emirates, we're really having all the honor and pleasure to host one of Egypt's most distinctive diplomats, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Hazem Fahmy, Egypt's returning ambassador from South Korea. His Excellency has been serving with pride a very important and a noble mission and lots of achievements and forward ever, let me say, to our bilateral relations and relations with South Korea. Ambassador, thank you so much for coming, and always great to have you with us again on Nile TV.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure and honor to be with you, Ms. Hussein, and thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Excellency. Ambassador Hazem Fahmy had started his career in 1987 at the Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, serving at the Egyptian mission to the EU in Brussels from 1991 to 95, in the Egyptian Foreign Minister's Cabinet from 95 to 1998, and the Egyptian Permanent Mission to the United Nations from 98 to 2003. During his term at the United Nations, he was elected Vice President for Africa on the Executive Board of the UNDP and Vice Chairman for Africa on the Bureau overseeing the preparatory process of the International Conference on Financing for Development. His Excellency Ambassador Hazem Fahmy was seconded from the Egyptian Foreign Service to the United Nations Secretariat between 2003 to 2014, where he joined the Financing for Development Office in the UN Secretariat back in 2003. His Excellency worked on UN reform issues at the Executive Office of the Secretary General between January 2006 and January 2007. Well, what we are seeing right now are definitely photos that reflect the latest mission, as His Excellency is our returning ambassador from South Korea, with prominent personalities, starting with presenting his credentials to President Moon. On the 1st of July 2014, Ambassador Fahmy was appointed as the first Secretary General of the Egyptian Agency of Partnership for Development. He was elected by the African Union to represent the North African constituency on the steering committee of the Global Partnership for Effective Development for 2015 to 2016. And definitely the mission to South Korea was a very important mission. We'll know more about the achievements, and we'll know more, of course, about taking our relations, Egypt relations, with South Korea forward. We will see that, but we'll be starting off with covering the presidential visit today. His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi had visited the United Arab Emirates, a very important presidential visit to our brotherly nation, the Emirates. Let's watch this report. We will be back, and tonight, thank you so much for joining us, my distinctive guest, our very refined diplomat, His Excellency Ambassador Hazem Fahmy, His Excellency, our returning ambassador from South Korea.
Sisi took part on Wednesday in four-way talks in Abu Dhabi with Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, King Hamad bin Isa of Bahrain, and Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President and Emir of the UAE. This came during President Sisi's visit to the UAE, where he met with Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed earlier at Abu Dhabi's Al Watan Palace. During the meeting, the four leaders discussed developments in regional issues of mutual interest and ways to enhance coordination and cooperation between the brothers to advance joint Arab action mechanisms in the face of current challenges facing the region. Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince and Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces Mohammed bin Zayed voiced appreciation for Egypt's role under President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in protecting Arab national security and defending the Arab nations. Meeting with President al-Sisi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed praised Egypt's continuous efforts to establish regional security and stability based on Egypt's pivotal role regionally. The head of the state affirmed Egyptian-Emirati relations and Egypt's keenness to develop close bilateral cooperation and coordination for the benefit of the two brotherly peoples and the Arab nation. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi added that this will take place by intensifying the pace of bilateral meetings between senior officials from both countries periodically to coordinate actively and mutually towards the successive developments currently taking place in the Middle East. President al-Sisi underscored that this effort also seeks to strengthen the unity of ranks and joint Arab and Islamic action in facing various regional challenges.